Namaste. Uh, I would like you to take back to our law school days when I was there in it was the year 2015, and I was there in the third year of my law school, and we had this subject called legal aid and PIL, where we used to do a lot of legal awareness camps and go to prisons, go to different institutions. And then I went back to Shivpuri. Shivpuri is my native town. And there we saw that it has been suffering from 3 years of continuous drought. After 3 years of continuous drought means every child you see on the road is carrying a can. We call it katti. So every child or every person you see on the road, entire day, half of the day is spent just to collect drinking water. And that is where we felt that because we were studying this legal aid and PIL course, so we thought, what are we doing? So this is a lake called Jadhav Sagar Lake in Shivpuri, and yeah, this is the situation. This was the situation in Shivpuri. So you can see the kids. You can see what kind of water problem was there. We spoke to the authorities. We gave many representations, and finally, we had to go to NGT to filing the case, saying that all the water bodies have been encroached upon and there is no proper waste disposal. Within 5 months, NGT gave its final orders, and it was in our favor. We had the final judgment. It was covered in all newspapers, and we were very glad that, all right, so our job is done. And after 6 months, nothing was done. No compliance whatsoever of the NGT orders. And that's where we realized that we have order for everything, we have law for everything, but nothing really precipitates to the ground. I mean, there is every kind of good law we have, but when you look at the ground, it's non-existent. And that is where we started exploring and understanding the issues properly. And we started this drought yatra in Shivpuri, where we were visiting villages and staying in the tent there with the villagers, understanding the problems as to what is the problem exactly, what are the institutions, because we do not know what a panchayat is, janpad is, jila panchayat is. And there we actually got an exposure of the range of issues that exist and the kind of methods that we have been using to address them are not proper or are not, they need to change. So this is one of the village called Vinega in Shivpuri, and this happened in around 250 villages of Shivpuri, where outside every house, if you see in the yellow part, it's written Mera Parivar Gareeb Hai, which means my family is poor. And this was an official order by one of the authorities in Shivpuri saying that unless all the BPL families write my family is poor outside their houses, they won't be given any of the entitlements. And this was the condition in and the point is not that we find it wrong, the point is whether the community finds it wrong. What does the community think about it? And when we spoke to the community, the only thing they had to say was that we only care about ration. This is the place, so this is a tribal village, and you can see them cleaning the ration. Half of it is stones and mud. So they said that we only care about the ration, and if we don't write this, we're not going to get it. What we did is we made a complaint to the Human Rights Commission, and within 3 days, in 250 villages, all of it was whitewashed. Next story is of a village called Majhera, which is called a widow village. It is called a village of the widows because most of the men in the village are dead because of silicosis and TB. Now this village is located close to the mine. These are the pictures. Some of the pictures we could get it. The slides are scattered like our work, but the idea behind is that there are more than 92 widows in that village, imagine the 92 families where the people have died because of TB and silicosis. Right now we are working on it and we find that there is no existing policy in the state of Madhya Pradesh for the rehabilitation or addressing this issue of silicosis. And you have 25 million mine workers in Madhya Pradesh. So you can imagine the extent of problem that exists. And this is where we understood the issues. We understood as to, we had a lot of learnings from the failures that we came across. We understood that court orders don't matter unless you can get them implemented. Second, what we understood from the village I just mentioned, the widows you saw, is that struggle has to remain in the hands of people. You cannot just go give the struggle in the hands of the courts. So there is the same village, Balarpur, where they were displaced in the year 2000. And then what happened was, when they were displaced, the government said, we'll give you land, we'll give you compensation, and everything will be given. Nothing was given. And then they waited for 16 long years when the case went to Human Rights Commission, State Human Rights Commission. State Human Rights Commission gave its final recommendations. Now, when the State Human Rights Commission gave its final recommendations, we went to the authorities that, see, it has to be implemented. And they were not willing to implement it. And when we went to the Human Rights Commission, they said, we can only give recommendations, can't enforce them, please go to the High Court. And at that point, me and my colleague, Swapnil Shukla, we were discussing as to why should we go to court when there is no legal complexity, when the facts are settled, when there is no legal issue. Why should we go to High Court when MP Human Rights Commission has already given its final recommendation? And that is the village where we are struggling each and every day in every Jan Sunwai, which is a public hearing, and making sure that authorities do their work one by one, and they're doing it now. And from there, I'm moving you directly to, if you can figure out what it is, I call it tatti in front of everyone. I don't want to call it shit or human excreta or you know. So this is a PWD quarter in Shivpuri where there are no septic tanks, and the tatti flows directly into the drains. And you know what happens after that? So this is another picture. That tatti has to be cleaned by the Safai Karmis. Manual scavenging exists in every part of India. It is an offense under SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act. Not a single FIR till date under that section where manual scavenging is criminalized. Second, you have the sewage workers who get in the sewer without any protective gear. And we are all aware of the numbers of the people who are dying because of getting into the sewer. Now, we come up with a solution that, okay, let's write to the collector. We come up with different solutions. Let's provide them masks, let's provide them boots, and let's provide them every kind of protective gears. But we always forget, does the community feel so? What about the community solutions? Till now, the thing has been happening that we have been imposing our individual solutions or what we think on the community. We never hear what community thinks are the solutions. When we speak about problems like these, it is not just a problem of employment, it's a caste problem equally. It's basically a caste issue. And here is where we need to talk to the community as to what do they think is the solution to this problem. Because unless they raise their voice, you're not their masiya, that you will be taking their issues to the courts or to various places. And through these realizations so why we are giving you different stories is to tell you that the kind of realizations and the learnings that we got while we were working and dealing with all these cases. And the most important learning being that there is no linear approach to problems. I mean, yes, you always have a law and you can get it enforced to the courts. That's what is the linear approach to the problems. But then there are diverse ways in which you can address those issues. We tried something. What we did was, so we carried the tatti from the same spot. We carried the sewer from the place where the worker went to placed it in front of the DM and all other officials. And you can see that we did it with protective gears because we believe in that. So, and we placed it in front of the collector saying that we'll open the jar if nothing is done. So, now this might sound like a very non-legal approach to doing things, but at the end of the day, what are we looking for? We are looking for solutions to these problems. You go to High Court will again say to the DM ki, ye karo, get them, implement Prohibition of Manual Scavenging Act 2013. But unless you adopt these innovative strategies where you make sure that you bring the issues in front of them the way they are. Within 15, now the change that has come, so this is like this Tuesday only. So the change that has come is all the Safai Karamcharis, I can't say all, but most of them have been provided with most of the protective gears. Manual scavenging has stopped for now. And we have told them if within 15 days, whatever is said in the act, if it's not implemented, we are going to get you 50 samples from across the city. Now, while we were doing this work and while we were experimenting with a whole lot of things, the only thing that troubled me was that why aren't more and more youth and students and adults into these kind of activities? Why aren't they doing it? Why aren't they on the ground seeing the problems themselves and maybe coming up with better innovative ideas or solutions to the problems? Maybe there could be a better solution to the placing the tatti in front of them. There could be a better thing to do. So that is where we started engaging a lot with the students and youth, not just from Shivpuri, but across India. So what we started doing was we started involving law students in legal aid effectively. This is a campaign that we have been running from the past 8 months every day, where we are involving students, particularly school students, in ecological restoration of a stream in Shivpuri. You missed the second photo. It was the photo of a magar, a crocodile. Like you have dogs in Bangalore, we have crocodiles in Shivpuri. I mean, you go to zoo to see a crocodile, we go to the nala nearby to see that crocodile. So that kind of ecological diversity exists in a place like Shivpuri, and there the crocodiles are actually living in plastic now. All those nalas, which are natural drainages, all those ponds, all those lakes are full of filth. They're all dying, and the crocodiles are actually, so we see crocodile hatchlings being crushed by bikes. If I could go back, I would like to show you that photo. Yeah. Here is it. So you can, this is a crocodile hatchling, and the picture is inverted, but you can see the head being crushed by the bike. And such kind of diversity we have, now what to do? Go to NGT again and get a favorable order, get it in the news, but then we realize that unless the community participates, these orders mean nothing. And that is where we started involving, because what we found in Shivpuri, our adults are of least hope, so the students and youth. Now we are preparing Green Army, which is a Green Agents Army in Shivpuri, and they are being trained as to how to deal with all the environment crises that we have and get involved in ecological restoration processes themselves. Now I'll share the story, finally I'll share the story of few of our volunteers who have worked with us and their lives have improved. First is the one, so our pictures are not very proper, we're not that tech savvy, and we will be now. Here, since we are here, and the person in the check shirt you see is Raju. He's an IDIS scholar. He worked with us this May, and now he's heading the legal aid chapter in NLU Orissa, where they have started a library in prison, and they are getting, every Sunday they show movies to all the maids in the college, and every kind of discussions and empowering the maids to get minimum wages, letting them fight their own battles. And this is how he has been empowered, and although he's not working with us, but wherever he's working, he's spreading that process of empowerment. Second picture is Manish. He is a student from Shivpuri. He's in his college, and when he joined us, he never spoke. He never spoke, and he was very shy, and he was never involved in any of these processes. Now this person is leading the entire ecological restoration campaign in Shivpuri, where 200 green agents are working together for the restoration of a lake. So finally, what we would like to share as a personal experience is, while you are experimenting in this field and doing your explorations, it is not just your own journey. Whatever you're doing, it is not just you. It is all the people around. And you carry them together, you walk with them. And that is what I would like to end my presentation with a quote before you clap. So Che Guevara said once that if you tremble at any sight of injustice, then you are a comrade of mine. And that is where I would like to end it, although I didn't say it very youthfully, but I would like to stress again that if you actually see things happening right around you, right in front of you, and your small action can make a big difference to the life of people. So let us begin by small actions. Let us begin to acknowledge and be conscious of that injustice. And I'm sure if these small actions are taken, the larger actions will be taken care of.